Hi, everyone. Welcome. And thanks so much for joining us today for this conversation with alumni from GISC's Competency Development Program for Coach Certification, or CDPCC. I'm Michelle Ward-Gillis, Program Manager here at the Gestalt International Study Center, and I'm happy to be here with my colleague Kat Tessier, who will be helping me facilitate today's discussion. So we're excited to have three of our CDPCC graduates here with us today, and they're going to share a bit about their experiences, what brought them to the program, what they took away from it, and how they're using what they learned in their work today. Our hope is that this conversation gives you a sense of what the CDPCC journey is like and helps you consider whether it might be the right next step for you. GISC offers this program both online and in person in Boston, Massachusetts. So to get us started, I'll invite each of our panelists to introduce themselves. And as you do, please share your name, your ICF credential, your CDPCC graduation date, your current professional role or context, and anything else you'd like us to know. So to get started, Angelique, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hi. So my name is Angelique Arnell, and I graduated the program at the end of 2020. My ICF credential is ACC, and I am an executive and leadership coach.
Awesome. Thank you. Dave, would you like to go next?
Sure. Uh, my name's Dave Bushy. I'm a professional certified coach with ICF. I graduated in 2014, and I'm currently working as an executive coach at a company I founded called Boston Executive Coaches.
Wonderful. And Kara.
My name is Kara Cretus. I am an ACC certified coach, and I graduated from the program in 2023. I am a licensed psychologist, and through my work and studying at GIC, I've augmented my practice to include coaching and consulting, and I work largely in hospital settings with physicians and teams.
All right, thanks again for being here to share your knowledge and expertise with us. Let's dive right in. So when we ask a question, feel free to just jump in and answer. We won't call on you to do a specific order. All right, so our first question is, what led you to choose GISC's coach training program?
My mentor and former leader from a past organization is a GISC graduate. She's also an MCC, and she'd been talking to me for quite some time, years, as a matter of fact. My background is human resources, and she said, Angelique, you coach. That's what you've been doing for many, many years. And she encouraged me. Her name's Adriana Belrose. She's actually one of the facilitators with GISC. And she said, Angelique, you should take a look at this program. And I really fell in love with the Gestalt methodology and focus. And that's what led me to the program.
I'm happy to go next. Although I have a background in both clinical and organizational psychology, I had primarily been doing psychotherapy for the last 30 years and really missed working in organizations and working with people around career issues, and felt like that came up a lot in therapy. And so I wasn't quite sure how I would get back into organizational work. And I first got trained as a mediator, and then decided that that wasn't quite dynamic enough. And then I did a bunch of research, and I found that GISC was really founded on the Gestalt principles, which has a root in therapy and family therapy. And it just was like an incredible dovetail for me in terms of the work I do, how I practice, and I've never looked back.
I'll jump in. I love the responses because they meld quite nicely with mine. I was looking for a program after 30 years in industry as an executive, and my coach recommended Gestalt, GISC, which happened to be pretty close to my house at the time. Well, I lived on Cape Cod. I had been looking at other programs, Columbia and some other programs, and she said, take a look at Gestalt. You're going to be really excited about it. So I went to talk to the then executive director, Marianne Walk, who had a lot of experience in industry. And then she introduced me to the concept of Gestalt, and it was brand new to me. I was excited about a different approach. I was also excited about the rigor of the training program. This was not one that you took on a couple weekends and got certified as a coach. There was a list of books that you had to read. There was 3 full weeks in person at the center, and I absolutely loved that rigor, and I love that hard work, but also the results of that hard work. So as soon as I signed up for the program, I too fell in love with the concept and have stayed in love with the concept ever since.
All right. So we'd love to hear what stands out most for you about your experience in the program, and kind of related, what do you see as the program's key strengths?
Well, one of the things that stands out for me is I just wrapped up a third week of additional Cape Cod training with a cohort of people that I just absolutely love. And that's one of the things that's most profound to me is just the amazing community of people, the instructors, as Dave mentioned, the rigor, that this is really a model and a system, but within that, it's very, very much around using self and using the here and now. And it's dynamic, it's fascinating. I don't want to stop learning. I think our group is inventing new ways to have a fourth week and a fifth week. It just keeps bringing me back. And I think the instructors are exceptional. I think the model is really smart, and I think it enables me and the people around me that I see to work with individuals and teams and organizations in really profound ways that that are just really transformative.
What stands out for me or stood out for me during my training and learning was the diversity of backgrounds of individuals who were part of my cohort. And that was instrumental for me because it allowed me just to take a look at so many perspectives and perspectives of individuals who were looking to also use the coaching experience that they would take with them in different ways in different industries for different purposes. What was also the other piece that stood out for me, and someone mentioned, I believe Dave mentioned her name. My mentor coach was Marianne Walk, and I was so fortunate to get her the last year that she was with GISC, and just the knowledge that the mentor coach provided was just invaluable. So there are so many pluses, but those are a couple of things that really stand out for me.
I think you guys read my notes. Uh, Everything what Kara and Angelique said, I totally can feel and experience myself. Relationships mean so much to me, and the relationships in this community. It can be a lonely existence being a coach because you spend your entire days, many days, you're on the call for 3 or 4 hours talking to other people. That does not give you relationships. It gives the client the opportunity to express and for you to be curious about it. My mentor coach originally, Jean Hauser, who's down at Duke, she said, "You're going to be very lonely." She didn't know what GISC would do for me because I can pick up the phone or send an email or a text any day of the week to uh, at least 5 of the people in my original cohort, and that's 10, 11 years now, or I can contact Marianne Walk or Stuart Simon or anyone that I went through the Cape Cod training program. I can contact and say, "Hey, I just need some advice. I need some support." I've continued to do supervision groups with GISC. I've heard of other supervision groups that might work for others, but I need that Gestalt fixed. So it's the relationships that have continued to support me and really make me a better coach.
How did your cohort and learning alongside others shape your growth as a coach?
I suppose I shouldn't. I should jump in at first so somebody else can steal my notes. So, uh, I think if you take a look at, I went through the program, and with my experience in business, I was able to kind of grab a domain name and then work to build my own business. Who did I ask to be part of Boston Executive Coaches? My cohort. I picked up the phone and called them, and they said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's work together." We work as a boutique firm, Boston Executive Coaches. Those are my peeps. Those are the people that I depend on. Those are the people that we have our own internal supervision groups. We meet once a month, talk about what our vision is, how can we support each other. So that cohort became my family, because when you leave corporate life, you kind of lose that corporate connection. But this is much stronger and more meaningful to me. So that's how my cohort has shaped my life in the last 10 years.
Learning alongside others and my particular cohort helped me take my knowledge back into um, my corporate career. As I mentioned, I have been in human resources for quite some time. And so my cohort allowed me to just really experience um, the learning alongside others who came from varied backgrounds, which is what I was going back into. And so that helped shape my experience. The learning opportunities that we had to coach each other was extremely meaningful and gave me quite a bit of practice to take back into my role after I graduated the program.
And I would say that learning alongside a cohort of people was an incredible experience. There's something about the people who show up to GISC and want to do this work. So for me, I've been, a psychotherapist for a long time, which, as Dave mentioned, can be a lonely experience. And it's sort of hard to know what other people are doing out there in the world for work. But what I loved was coming together with a group of people who were from all different types of work environments. There were CEOs, there was physicians, social workers, executive HR folks, and so not only did I get to learn about the work they do, but people showed up just being willing to experiment, to be playful, to be vulnerable, and the learning is amazing.
So, when thinking about your experience in CDPCC, whether it was in person or online, I'm curious to hear what it was like engaging in different modes of learning. So, whether that was coaching, being coached, observing, giving feedback, what was that like being able to engage in those different ways throughout the program?
I would say it was really comprehensive. It was a lot. And it was, I think, in the very beginning, just imagining it, it felt like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to do all of this? But I can't imagine it sinking in or being as valuable if we hadn't done it the way that we did it. I mean, there's something about learning, observing, practicing the work while being observed, getting feedback in real time, um, and and then being able to offer feedback to other people in the program, and you learn so much that way too. So, and I just came out of a third week after the training program that's unrelated to the program we're talking about, and the learning keeps happening, the confidence in the practice keeps growing, um, and I think it's because of the way that it's set up to be sort of a feedback model in a really safe environment with lots of support.
Thank you, Kara. I want to know, Kara said something and David said something too, but I think something that is great about GISC is that after you finish the coaching program, as both Kara and Dave have alluded to, there are additional programs that GISC offers where you can build upon that learning, that actually offer continuing coach education credits to maintain your credential through the International Coaching Federation, if that's something you're doing, so that kind of opportunity exists to deepen the learning, continue the learning after CDPCC, which is an initial coach training program.
I agree that it was comprehensive. Going into the program, I didn't really know what to expect, and it was an opportunity for me to be vulnerable. It was uncomfortable at times because, as I mentioned, there's that peer-to-peer coaching, and there are the feedback sessions, and the instructors are amazing in that they bring real transparency to the process. But it allowed me to prepare for what I would be doing once I graduated, and it allowed me to be in the shoes of my clients as well, to see the other side of the process. And I walked away unexpectedly learning quite a bit about myself, not necessarily thinking that that would happen, but it was a great learning process.
That's great. Thank you.
I would just echo what Kara and Angelique said. What you learn about yourself is unexpected, and leaning into discomfort is something that you didn't plan on. You walk into the program and you think, well, I'll read some books, I'll go through some programs, and I'll use my notes and then learn how to be a coach. No, you learn about yourself first. You learn about how you navigate the world, and you learn about range. The range it is the most important thing that you can learn in a Gestalt. In my that whole concept of where are we well developed and where can we expand our range beyond that, and you learn that. I'm told by those closest to me that you're a better listener today. You take that short pause before you respond. Where did I learn that? I learned that in that experiential learning called the coaching program, the Gestalt, and the 4 other programs that I've taken at the Gestalt Center. So vulnerability, yes, and vulnerability helps us to grow. So I appreciate the responses.
Thanks, Dave.
What sets GISC and the Gestalt approach apart from other coaching styles or programs?
Well, I don't know other coaching programs that well, but I do see them advertised because I'm a member of ICF and IOC and stay professionally attuned. Uh, what I find is it's non-formulaic. It's non-formulaic because it's very emergent. When we meet the client where they are and work with curiosity and inquiry to help them on their journey, there isn't a formula for it. There isn't a book that you can take. Fill out the book and you follow all these steps, and you're going to become a better person. My son worked in an executive role. He got executive coaching, and he asked me, "What should I ask?" I said, "Well, ask if it's confidential." And the coach said, "Well, it's confidential to the point where I might not tell everything to your boss." And I said, "Mark, don't walk away, run." And the second thing is, he said, "How are you going to work?" She says, "I'm going to make you a better version of yourself." Well, that's really nice to hear, but what does that mean? We want to be able to join with the client, meet them where they are, and support their journey. I don't know where it's going to go. That's the beauty of Gestalt, and it's non-formulaic.
I totally agree, Dave. And I really love, and I don't know much about other coaching models either, but my sense is a lot of it is around coach as expert. And what I love about this model is that you don't even really need to know much about a specific field or industry, because it is about meeting the client where they're at. And it's a co-created relationship that's collaborative and invites curiosity. And the other part I really love about it is that it's such a positive stance and model that even the parts of us that we think are problematic have uses and have served us and need to be celebrated. And I really admire that about the model.
I would echo what Dave and Kira said, and I don't know much about other programs. To Dave's point, this program is non-formulaic, whereas I have heard of other programs where they're just moving through the motions for the number of hours that need to be satisfied, right? And reading the books and kind of doing the modules. And that said, what I appreciate about the Gestalt, or at least one of the principles, is really around bringing the whole body, right? And focusing on the client's whole body. And I don't know if other programs focus on that. I don't know if other styles focus on that. But I have to believe now more than any time where there's so much happening in the world, that is really important, and that our clients and organizations would appreciate that piece around where Gestalt is concerned. So that has really been very important to my work.
So you all have talked about this a little, but I want to talk about it a bit more explicitly. In what ways do you think that CDPCC prepared you to become a coach or enhance your existing practice? And if you started a coaching practice, what was that like? And essentially, just how are you applying what you learned in the program into your work today?
I did sort of formally start a practice, coaching practice, after getting certified. And I guess what I will say about that is I thought the program prepared me really well to not only learn, the skills and be able to pass the exam, but the instructors were incredibly generous about just the mechanics of setting up a practice and what that looks like. And I felt were really readily available if I had questions about how to do it. And, it's a process, and it had to come from me, and it took some time, but I felt really well sourced and supported in kind of branching out into a different type of work.
The program taught me the technique I needed as a coach. And as Kara mentioned, it also set me up with the foundational pieces I needed to begin my business. And the program set me up really well to take the ICF certification exam. And with that, it was a well-rounded program.
I think going through a program like this with its very nuanced approach and the challenges that we faced with overcoming our own vulnerabilities and sensitivities, and our own differences, and joining with others that were incredibly diverse in their backgrounds and experience, opened us up to what I call a license to learn. We had a license to learn because we were not fully baked coaches when we graduated. I'm yet to be a fully baked coach after coaching for 11 years straight. I'm getting close. I mean, I'm getting close, but someday I'll get there. We only have the now in Gestalt. We don't have yesterday. We don't have tomorrow. And that's a very important thing. Where am I now? What works for me now and today? And I use that with my clients. I use that with myself. And that license to learn has just opened up possibilities for me. That's thanks to not a program. That's thanks to the people that are Gestalt, the Gestalt community. This is a community that is like no other that I've experienced, where people are in support of each other. They challenge each other. They're curious about each other. They care about each other. Show me a program like that, and I'll run to it. And that's why I'm part of Gestalt.
GISC's coach training program is accredited by the International Coaching Federation, known as ICF, as a level 2 program. What was the value for you in attending an ICF accredited program? And what was your experience like pursuing your ICF credential after CDPCC?
Early on, when I graduated in 2014, uh, we were still learning how to deal with ICF certification. It went fine, and I think it goes better now because I talked to a lot of colleagues who have graduated recently who are very well prepared. We were well prepared, but it was still a bit of the Wild West, even in ICF. ICF has grown too, along with GISC. So I wanted credentialing. I feel it's important in my professional experience. I always work to get credentialed. And I think credentialing makes a lot of sense because you have to have something that you can say to your clients, yeah, I'm ICF certified. I've worked with many colleagues and they go, well, I don't need ICF certification because I know what I know. Okay, that works for you. It doesn't work for me. I think you need that imprimatur of, hey, I've got certification. So it was very important to me, and I think the Gestalt Center has done a good job growing with ICF.
Well, unlike you, Dave, I didn't go into the program really thinking about certification. I was just really hungry to learn and wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And so I'm really glad I got certified. And I think that it was really, the exam was pretty straightforward. And what I really liked is that the ICF core competencies are embedded in the training program. You learn them, you're being evaluated on them. You're really digging into or drilling down into what they are and really understanding them on a lot of different levels. So it just felt like second nature when I took the exam. I didn't really feel like I needed to prepare that much. I just felt like it made sense. It was pretty straightforward.
And I was seeking to become certified. And so the program, the quality of the program was important to me. And GISC delivered in that area. I sought my certification as soon as I graduated the program, and I was well prepared for the exam. And the resources to my mentor coach, my cohort, were all instrumental in that. We had practice exams, and while I learned so much in the program, to Kara's point, the principles are embedded in the GISC program as well. It was a great preparation for me wanting to be certified.
And the other thing, if I may add about the training, is that without even really thinking about it, part of it is about getting in coaching hours. So whether it was with folks that you knew or found, or that other people found and offered to share with you, or it was coaching one another, by the time we wrapped up the training, we had pretty much most of the hours that we needed to sit for the exam. So that was really nice to not have to really think too much about that.
I got certified right away, studied for it, and I was well prepared for ACC. And I was going to go, well, I'll just stick with ACC. My mentor coach, Marianne Walk, and Angelique and I could share a cup of coffee and talk about how much we think of Marianne. She's my hero. Uh, she called me up one day and says, why aren't you getting your PCC? You've got all the hours. I said, well, I hadn't thought about it, Marianne. I'm fine with ACC. she encouraged me and gave me the support to go for my PCC, and I'm glad I did.
And the thing about GISC's program is that CDPCC gives graduates all the hours they need in terms of education to take that PCC exam, whether that's right away or whether that's several years later or 10 years later. It doesn't matter because you would have gotten the hours in the program.
What advice would you give to someone considering CDPCC?
I don't know if it's too bold to say run, run towards it. It's been a life-changing experience for me, and so I can't imagine my life without it, honestly. And I don't mean to sound, too woo-woo, but just the quality of the training, the quality of the community, the use of self, the sort of positive mindset, all of those things, especially in the world we live in today, are invaluable. And I can't imagine I've done so many trainings throughout my career, and this training and GISC definitely stand out like no other training program. So I would really encourage people who are interested in coaching to move towards it.
I would encourage people to move towards it too if they are seriously considering coaching others, and taking care of the whole person. It's invaluable. And I'm not really sure how many times I've used the word invaluable, but that's how sincere I am about the program. But I would absolutely encourage those who are looking to become serious about coaching to take the program.
I agree. It is a life-changing experience to go through the GISC coaching program. It changes your perspective, it expands your range, and it provides you the foundation for learning, because that's what we do with our clients. We learn with our clients. Our clients learn about themselves. And part of what I do as a coach is to present what Gestalt is all about. There's some teaching involved in coaching, and you can present that. And the funny thing is, it's not funny, is a number of my clients have been through the program. A number of my clients have gotten interested in the program because they love the way that I coach. It's not me, it's what I learned in Gestalt. And they have taken that and gone through the program. There's one that's finishing the program right now. And I hope someday that she joins me in Boston Executive Coaches. Uh, so I would say sign up, take it, and it will change your life.
Thank you so much. That's so great to hear.
I just want to say thank you to you all for taking the time to talk with us today, for sharing your experiences. It's been really lovely to hear your stories and to hear about the impact that CDPCC has had on your both personal and professional lives. And to everyone who's watching, thank you for your interest in CDPCC. We hope this conversation gave you a good feel for the program and what it's like to be a part of the GISC community. If you'd like to learn more about CDPCC and our upcoming cohorts, please visit the GISC website, gisc.org. And that's it for now. Thank you, everyone. Take care.